Everybody, hope you had a good weekend. Justin here to do a new fantasy booking show, WrestleMania theme fantasy booking. It's the fantasy booking of the first ever women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. Yeah, they had a women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania 25, but that was a joke. Because who the winner was. So before I start this fantasy booking of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, before I start, I just came up with a small, little fantasy booking show for, it's not long, it's not a show, I'll just give you my ideas I had for it. Fantasy booking up until WrestleMania 1. And the fantasy booking would have been, if I did this show, which I'm not, I'm going to just give you the ideas I wrote down. It would have been the fantasy booking of Bob Backlund going up to the first WrestleMania. I would have Bob Backlund, of course, was champion still in 83. I would have had him be champion in 84. And he would have defended the title all the way up until WrestleMania 1. Now, WrestleMania 1 was in 85. So Bob Backlund would have still been champion, part of 85. I would have Bob Backlund as a babyface go on a 9-month run as champion until September 85. Then I would have Bob Backlund. He would have beat every heel. Every heel he would have beat until September 85, where he would have faced the Iron Sheik and lost the title to the Iron Sheik. And then in November 85, I would have held WrestleMania 1. Have it compete with Starrcade. But we all know the real WrestleMania is in March and April. But I would have had it in November 85. And I would have had Iron Sheik defend the title in the main event against Hulk Hogan, making his WWF coming back, his debut. Because he was in the WWF before. He was there in 1980. But he left in 1980. So the Iron Sheik defending the title against Hulk Hogan, that would have been the WrestleMania 1 main event. And Bob Backlund would have been the guest referee. And Hogan would have won. Of course he would have won. Now, I don't have a problem. I don't have any issue with the first real WrestleMania main event. Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff against Mr. T. Hulk Hogan. I have no issue with that main event. It worked, and it was good. But I think Iron Sheik, Hogan for the title would have been better with Bob Backlund as a guest referee. That's just my opinion. So there's my idea for fantasy booking Bob Backlund up to WrestleMania 1. Now to my show. Fantasy booking of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Here are the participants: Molly Holly, Victoria, Trish Stratus, Medusa / Alundra Blaze, whatever they want to call her, Toni Storm. Gotta have her in it because Toni Storm is one of my favorites to watch. From NXT, Ember Moon is in it. Kairi Sane. Tessa Blanchard's in it. Rhea Ripley. Peyton Royce. Billie Kay. Nikki Cross. Santana Garrett. Rachel Ellering. Brie Presley. Bayley. Sasha. Natalya. Bring her back. Layla. I'd like to see Layla in it. Nixon, no, God, I can't, her last name, Nixon Newell, Nixon Noel. She's under contract with WWE. She just had an injury, I believe, last year. I don't know if she's cleared, but she's under contract. Put in Nixon in the Battle Royal, Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. She's a UK wrestler from the UK. She's very good. Gail Kim, bring her back. Put her in the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Mickie James. Sarah Del Rey. Don't know who that is. Shame on you. You're not a women's wrestling fan. If you don't know who Sarah Del Rey is, I guess she's retired. She's a head trainer at the Performance Center. You don't know who Sarah Del Rey is. Again, shame on you, and look her up. And I'd have Carmella in there, Naomi, and Alicia Fox. So that's who is in my fantasy booking of the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. Now, who would win? Out of all these women, who would win the first ever WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal? I would have Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross would win. I'd give it to Nikki Cross. It'd be a surprise, it'd be a shock, and it'd be awesome. I'm a fan of Nikki Cross. So Nikki Cross wins the first WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. This ends my fantasy booking for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. So there it is. Quick fantasy booking show, WrestleMania themed. I won't be doing any more fantasy bookings until well after WrestleMania. The next one I've lined up is fantasy booking of WCW 2000, the year 2000. And that's going to take a while to fantasy book most of the year 2000. I already wrote down like 3 months worth of pay-per-views and nitros. So the next fantasy booking to look forward to is me fantasy booking WCW the year 2000. Hope you enjoyed this fantasy booking for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Bye for now, everybody.